In a perplexing and meticulously planned crime, two nations were shocked and devastated. The prime suspect, determined to conceal his true identity from the world, went to extreme lengths, even resorting to altering his own face. Welcome to Mystical Stories of Crimes. I'm Nick. Today, we delve into the gripping case of Tatsuya Ichihashi and his victim, Lindsay Hawker. This case is filled with chilling and peculiar details, including a body concealed within a flower pot, the suspect's pursuit of plastic surgery to evade detection, and a nationwide manhunt spanning years in Japan before his capture. So, settle in, grab a cup of coffee, and prepare to uncover the enigma that is Tatsuya Ichihashi. While our story primarily unfolds in Japan, let's begin in Coventry, England. Nestled in the heart of the Midlands, Coventry is renowned for its medieval cathedral, tragically marred by the ravages of World War II. Despite its scars, Coventry has emerged as an engineering powerhouse in recent decades, conveniently situated with easy access to London, Birmingham, and the rest of the country within a 2-hour drive. Lindsay Hawker was one of Coventry's residents. Lindsay, born on December 30, 1984, to Bill and Julia Hawker, enjoyed a happy childhood alongside her sisters Louise and Lisa. She attended King Henry VIII School and subsequently pursued biology at the University of Leeds. Lindsay excelled academically, graduating with first-class honors in 2006. Balancing ambition for her future career with a vibrant social life, she was both focused and popular among her friends. Lindsay possessed numerous admirable qualities: intelligence, compassion, and success. However, before embarking on her master's degree, she yearned for a new adventure. In mid-2006, Lindsay devised a plan. Determined to gain fresh perspectives on life, she decided to take a gap year while working. Her destination, Japan. In October 2006, Lindsay enrolled at Nova Teaching School, the largest private English school in Japan, renowned for recruiting individuals from around the world to teach English in Osaka and Tokyo. Being accepted into Nova was a prestigious achievement, and Lindsay was fortunate to secure a spot. Touching down in Tokyo, Lindsay was assigned to Kaiwa, a district in the Adagawa ward, where she swiftly found comfort and excitement in her new surroundings. Situated a mere 17 minutes from Akihabara and 22 minutes from Asakusa, Kaiwa offered an array of attractions, activities, and culinary delights. Tokyo, with its vibrant blend of parks, shopping districts, temples, and an abundance of entertainment options, proved to be one of the world's most captivating cities. Lindsay eventually opted to move to Chiba, a neighboring area east of central Tokyo, where rent was more affordable. Sharing accommodation with two fellow teachers from a different school, their bond quickly blossomed into a strong friendship. 6 months into her stay, in March 2007, Lindsay had an unsettling encounter. After finishing work for the day, she made her way back to Chiba Station to retrieve her bike. While unlocking her bike, she sensed someone approaching from behind. Turning around, Lindsay was taken aback when the stranger addressed her as his English teacher. Confused by the situation, as she was certain he wasn't one of her students, Lindsay awkwardly dismissed his statement. However, the man persisted in following her. She hastily mounted her bike and started cycling away, but the man continued to pursue her. As she pedaled faster, his walk turned into a jog, and eventually escalated to a full-on sprint. With Chiba's complex network of roads and intersecting walkways, Lindsay found it nearly impossible to shake him off. Despite her attempts to evade him, he struck up a conversation, inquiring about her origins and studies. Determined to escape, Lindsay persisted in her efforts. Finally, she arrived at her apartment, coming to a halt with her bike. The man, Tatsuya Ichihashi, had relentlessly chased her all the way home. Upon catching up with her, he made an unusual proposal. Despite his peculiar behavior, his offer seemed harmless enough. Tatsuya asked Lindsay if she would be interested in providing him with English lessons. Feeling that he needed assistance with the language, He suggested meeting at a cafe and offered generous compensation for her time. Lindsay politely declined, citing her already busy work schedule and the desire to spend her free time having fun on her own terms. Disappointed, Tatsuya appeared to accept her answer. However, he concluded the encounter with one final peculiar request. Thirsty after his relentless pursuit of Lindsay through the streets of Chiba, he asked if she could kindly provide him with a glass of water at her apartment. Lindsay hesitated, but ultimately, she reluctantly allowed him into her apartment. Lindsay saw an opportunity in the presence of her two roommates. It would indirectly convey to the strange man that she was never alone, and it would allow her friends to familiarize themselves with his face in case they encountered him again. Together, they entered the apartment, and while he had his drink, he repeated his offer. This time, there was a price attached to it. He would pay Lindsay 3,500 yen, or $32, per hour for their strictly business interactions. The offer was tempting for Lindsay. Although she was getting by with Nova's support in Tokyo, extra cash would be beneficial. She accepted his request, agreeing to meet him at a coffee shop a few days later. Tatsuya expressed his gratitude and thanked Lindsay for the opportunity. Before leaving her apartment, he wanted to give her something. He took out a pen and scrap paper, quickly sketching a portrait of Lindsay. Along with the sketch, he wrote down his name and phone number. Tatsuya Ichihashi was a 28-year-old man from Ichikawa, Chiba Prefecture. Born on January 5, 1979, in Gifu Prefecture, he later moved to Chiba. His father was a doctor at a local hospital, and his mother was a dentist. Initially aspiring to follow in his father's footsteps, Tatsuya aimed to become a doctor but ended up obtaining a degree in horticulture from Chiba University in 2005. Despite his decent academic performance, he did not actively seek employment and relied on a monthly allowance of 100,000 yen, or $920, from his parents. Tatsuya had a darker side to him. Although he had no prior criminal record, there had been an allegation of theft and assault against him. Reportedly, he had attacked a woman during a robbery, but the matter was resolved outside of court when his father paid the woman around 1 million yen, or $10,000. Tatsuya was described as a loner with a keen interest in physical fitness, regularly visiting the gym and cycling long distances of over 25 kilometers each day. He was also known for his reclusive and rebellious nature, with no intention of seeking employment. Considering his monthly allowance of only $900, could the weekly English lessons at $35 an hour be sustainable for him? Back in Lindsay's apartment, Tatsuya expressed his gratitude for the glass of water and the time she had given him. He bid her farewell until their scheduled English lesson a few days later. Fast forward to Saturday, March 24, 2007. Lindsay had been in touch with Tatsuya, and they had arranged their first English lesson at a local coffee shop. CCTV footage captured Lindsay and Tatsuya standing in line at the coffee shop, engaging in conversation. Lindsay appeared relatively at ease, although she instinctively moved away whenever Tatsuya got too close. They sat together for over an hour, making good progress in their English lesson. However, Tatsuya suddenly realized that he had forgotten his money. "No problem," he said. "My apartment is just half a mile away. Why don't you come over, collect your payment, and then be on your way?" Lindsay agreed, and they hailed a taxi. She asked the taxi driver to wait for her while she went inside Tatsuya's apartment. Several minutes passed, and Lindsay didn't return. The taxi driver found it a bit strange but assumed she had changed her plans. Lindsay never made it back. When she didn't show up for work and failed to return to her apartment, her housemates grew concerned. They reported her missing to T police that night. As days passed without any contact from Lindsay, her family and friends in the UK became increasingly worried. When she missed a second day of work, the school contacted her parents, who then alerted the police. Finally, the police began taking her disappearance seriously. The investigation started at Lindsay's apartment, where her housemates were interviewed. They mentioned her meeting with a man at the coffee shop and the sketch he had left behind. This led the police to focus on Tatsuya as a suspect. Around 5:40 p.m., 2 officers went to Tatsuya's home, but he didn't answer the door. However, his neighbors allowed the officers to peer into his living room from their balcony. The apartment was dark, but there seemed to be someone moving inside. Strangely, the bathtub had been moved from the bathroom to the balcony. Concerned that Lindsay might be held hostage, the officers called for backup. Within an hour, 7 more officers arrived, preparing to raid Tatsuya's apartment. However, in a surprising turn of events, Tatsuya opened his front door with a backpack at his feet. Seizing the opportunity, Tatsuya forcefully pushed past the officers, who only managed to grab his backpack. He evaded capture, disappearing into the narrow and labyrinthine hallways of the building. Due to the lack of radio equipment, the police lost sight of him. And so, in the heart of Tokyo, Tatsuya vanished into the night. Tatsuya seemed to vanish without a trace, leaving the police baffled. However, their search of his property would uncover a horrifying sight: the lifeless body of Lindsay Hawker. She was found naked, buried in Tatsuya's detachable bathtub, which he had moved to the balcony. Her body was covered with a mixture of sand and soil, with only her right hand protruding from the surface. Lindsay had been bound, gagged, and showed signs of bruising on her upper body. It was evident that she had suffered a prolonged assault before her death. The room was in disarray, with Lindsay's belongings scattered around, and the balcony bathtub contained decomposing agents and flower seeds to disguise the burial. Adding to the disturbing discovery, Lindsay's head had been completely shaved. The police also found several wigs in Tatsuya's apartment, suggesting a possible interest in cross-dressing. Speculation and rumors quickly spread, suggesting that Tatsuya had killed Lindsay to obtain her hair for a wig. By the following day, Tatsuya Ichihashi was officially declared a wanted man throughout Japan. Wanted posters with his image were distributed, and news outlets reported on the case extensively. Authorities conducted interviews and carried out raids based on potential sightings, but all leads turned out to be dead ends. Tatsuya seemed to elude capture, remaining elusive for weeks, then months, and eventually years. The police were so determined to catch him that they even released manipulated images of Tatsuya wearing wigs, in case he disguised himself. However, Tatsuya managed to remain unnoticed, frustrating Lindsay's family. They not only had to endure the unimaginable pain of losing their daughter but also felt that her killer had escaped justice. Their frustration grew as they perceived the Japanese police's investigation as lacking effort and diligence. Lindsay's parents were so outraged that a few months after her death, they traveled to Japan to raise awareness about her case. In their pursuit of justice, Lindsay's father, Bill, even met members of the Japanese mafia, the Yakuza, in a bar, offering them whiskey as a gift in hopes of obtaining their assistance. The media spotlight intensified, focusing on the Japanese police and raising questions about their actions. How did 9 officers fail to apprehend one man? Why did it take a month to interview crucial witnesses? And why did the wanted poster feature a picture that was 7 years outdated? As tensions grew between the police and the Hawker family, the media from both Britain and Japan became involved. Meanwhile, Tatsuya managed to evade capture by traveling extensively throughout Japan, from the northern city of Aomori to the southern island of Okinawa. He went unnoticed, even resorting to living in a concrete bunker on a remote island to avoid detection. In 2008 and 2009, Tatsuya found himself in Osaka, a bustling port city known for its modern architecture and street food. He relied on internet cafes for shelter and worked on construction sites to support himself. With the money he saved, he underwent plastic surgery to alter his appearance and further evade the law. However, he had already mutilated his own face to change his features. He removed moles, cut part of his lower lip with scissors, and even sewed a thread through his nose to reshape it. By the summer of 2009, the police were desperate to find Tatsuya. The National Police Agency increased the cash reward for information leading to his arrest from 1 million to 10 million yen. They also issued a statement informing the public that Tatsuya likely had plastic surgery to alter his appearance and urged people to be vigilant. In October 2009, a plastic surgeon in Nagoya contacted the police, believing he had operated on Tatsuya. Tatsuya had made the mistake of agreeing to before and after photos, which were shared with the authorities and subsequently made public. Tatsuya became rattled by this development. His cover had been blown, and a colleague at the construction site in Osaka recognized him from the photos. Knowing he had to act quickly, Tatsuya planned to flee to Okinawa and hide in one of the abandoned concrete bunkers on its remote islands, as he had done in previous close calls. On November 10, 2009, he discreetly made his way to Osaka's ferry port. However, luck was not on his side. A worker at the port recognized his face and alerted security, leading to Tatsuya's encounter with a group of officers. When asked for his name, he knew it was all over. He confessed, saying, "Yes, I am Tatsuya Ichihashi." He was then formally arrested and initially charged with abandoning a body. Subsequent to his initial charge of abandoning a body, 2 additional warrants for rape and murder were served to Tatsuya Ichihashi. It took 8 months for his trial to commence, beginning on July 4, 2011. Given the highly publicized nature of the case, the outcome seemed apparent from the start, leading to a swift deliberation. The focus shifted to how Japan's court system would punish Tatsuya, as the death penalty is not frequently imposed for single-person murders. However, due to the media attention and public sentiment, there was considerable support for such a punishment. During the trial, Tatsuya admitted to enticing Lindsay into his apartment, raping her, and subsequently strangling her out of fear that her screams would alert neighbors and prompt them to contact the police. On July 21, 2011, Tatsuya Ichihashi received a life sentence for Lindsay Hawker's murder. Although Lindsay's family had requested the death penalty for Tatsuya, the court deemed it inappropriate as he had no prior convictions. Moreover, at 32 years old, there remained a possibility of his rehabilitation. The trial inflicted further devastation and pain upon Lindsay's family. They were forced to relive her final moments and witness new images of her body, a sight they deeply regretted seeing. Following Tatsuya's sentencing, Lindsay's parents expressed their thoughts to the media, stating, "We have long awaited this day. We have waited 4.5 years for justice. Lindsay loved Japan, and today you have not let her down. Ichihashi, you have taken away a precious life, shattered an entire existence, and stolen countless memories from us." The verdict, condemning Tatsuya to a lifetime behind bars, garnered widespread approval throughout the nation. Accepting his own fate, Tatsuya had authored and published a book confessing to Lindsay's murder shortly before the trial. Tatsuya's biography focused extensively on his 2.5 years on the run, detailing the lengths he went to in order to evade capture. The book, titled Until I Was Arrested, recounted his experiences and tactics to avoid detection. Surprisingly, Tatsuya offered all royalties and profits from the book to Lindsay's family as a gesture of goodwill. However, Lindsay's family, still grieving their daughter's loss, rejected the offer. They understood that no amount of compensation or book sales could ever fill the void left by Lindsay's absence. Lindsay was a beloved individual, known for her accomplishments, optimistic nature, and uniqueness. She was in the midst of an incredible journey abroad, making a positive impact by sharing her valuable teaching skills. Unfortunately, her kind-heartedness was exploited by a cold and heartless man. Her absence left an immeasurable void in the lives of her parents, sisters, and all those who knew her. Lindsay's memory continues to be cherished, and she is deeply missed every day. Thank you for watching Mystical Stories of Crimes today, and I appreciate your support for my other videos as well. I'm grateful for all of you who continue to come back for more content. The growth of this channel has been remarkable, and I'm thrilled that we are all part of this journey together. If you found this case intriguing, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Mystical Stories of Crimes. Your support means a lot to me. Once again, thank you. Eagerly waiting for you in the next video. Until then, take care of one another. Goodbye, and see you soon.